Hey guys, so we're gonna take a look here at the radar. I don't know if you guys have heard or not, but you probably have heard that there's been some storms. We've so far here in southern Illinois, when you look at this spring, it's been relatively calm. We've had at least maybe one or two severe weather rounds, but our neighbors to the north of us, central and northern Illinois, they've been getting hit hard. Look at Iowa, Wisconsin, Missouri, Minnesota. I mean, those areas this week have been hit hard by storms and heavy rain. So let's go ahead and take a look at the radar here. Now, the radar has changed. Actually, just trying out some radar software here. And this is actually pretty cool. This is weather-wise, and so we're using it. And we've already got, so just kind of, it's a little bit different here. And just, this is the reflectivity. So I'm going to draw here a little bit for you in terms of where y'all's at. So Fairfield, I'm gonna circle Fairfield right here. There's Albion, there's Mount Carmel, Mount Vernon, Illinois is over here. We got Carmine, we got McLeansboro. Florida, you're right here. There's Albany, there's Lawrenceville. So you get the gist, you get the picture. So as we take a look here, we see this line of storms to the west. Now, I want to tell you for the record, that this line has had a history of producing, we've seen some tornado warnings with this line. In fact, there's already one out right now, radar indicated. And with this radar, again, the software is actually pretty neat. I've been kind of playing around with it a little bit. So I could actually look up and tell you the tornado warning. And again, this is out of St. Louis, Missouri, as an example. And so it's kind of like what you saw here in the past when it comes to like the warnings that I usually display on here and stuff. But watch this though. This is actually pretty cool. So this is something that the other radar software I was using did not have. If you go to impacts right here, it tells you how many people is affected. How many people's affected, homes affected, it lists the affected areas, from cellular towers to education, emergency services, finance, law enforcement, government, public health, mobile home parks. It's actually pretty cool. Maximum hail size by an inch. Radar indicated tornado threat expires in 20 minutes. Again, it's radar indicated rotations west of St. Louis, but still you get the gist of how cool this actually is. And so this line that extends out, it goes all the way up to pretty much all the way up to Wisconsin. So just right around just north of the Kenosha area. And I'm going to draw the line right here for you just to show you this line. So it goes all the way down here like this. Just saw a tornado warning pop up in central Illinois. And then just kind of goes all the way down like this. So this line is moving this way because of that cold front coming in. And you may notice too that the temperatures for Sunday are calling for 60 degrees. So it's going to be cooler Sunday and rainy tomorrow. So we did see on here, I think as I play around with this a little bit, you guys are seeing me learn a little bit firsthand. We're going to go back, zoom right here. And that one's observed right here. And this is in central Illinois. No, this is at the National Weather Service office in Lincoln. And it's actually confirmed tornado. We got a tornado on the ground. This is actually in the Maroa Monticello area. Monticello 925. Now, if you recall Monticello, that may sound familiar to you. That's where the Mules basketball team played their postseason at. Was in Monticello. Maroa Forsyth 915. Weather spotters confirm a tornado on the ground. Let's get to the Lincoln radar site here. Now, I've not been to Clinton, but I am familiar with it. There's your velocity data right there. Yeah, you can definitely see it right here. Weather spotters confirmed tornado, the impacts, about 47,000 people. So that's actually pretty neat. And again, just kind of playing around with this radar software a little bit. It's pretty cool. So 47,000 people affected in this tornado warning. Homes affected over 21,000. You got your communication, education, like public schools, childcare, private, emergency services, energy, finance, government. It's just some really good information right here. Mining, public venues, public health, law enforcement. So it doesn't really exactly tell you, per se, all like the names of the businesses, names of the schools, but it is good to know. It's good information. 72, 77 mile per hour. And again, that's concerning right there. And that just really stands out to me. Now I'm going to show you guys a future tracker coming up here, but I want you to see this because, again, I think there's some good information here out of it. I'm just kind of curious if there's a correlation coefficient. If we got one, it's going to be about this area right here. But again, with the velocity data, because I see this right here, that's concerning to me near the Rawwell area. So that's interesting now. But it's pretty close to where that was at, the hook. So, all right. So some of you are wondering about future tracker, about for, the nighttime and everything. Let me zoom out a little bit. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So Fairfield is right here. Okay, so that's Fairfield. It's going to take some time here to load up. But I want you to watch Future Tracker for a moment here. And I did this earlier. I was kind of running it by. And this event, as you can see right there, it went. So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to stop it right here. So if you look at the leading edge of this, to put time ups here for you, St. Louis area, you're probably looking at about, again, the way it's traveling at this rate, you get a strong storm about 1 a.m., but you're going to see this line coming in right about 9, 10 o'clock-ish right there. But again, as I mentioned, you have this line over here. You still got some heavy stuff to your west. And then set this in motion here. By the time it gets to Fairfield, this line's going to be here about 3 a.m. Now, one thing of note, though, too, make a line right here for this. So you look back on it. I know it's future tracker and everything, but it kind of helps you out. You can see how this line loses its punch a little bit. You guys see that? So, like, here it is right now. Here it is what it's going to be like in the next hour or two. But as it continues to progress further east, that's when it starts to weaken. Now, we can't rule out, an isolated strong or severe storm when it reaches the Fairfield area. But if you look down to the south, I can't really move it right now, but you could actually see where it gets a little bit heavier down south, like southern Missouri, northern Arkansas. So I find this news to be encouraging. Now, daybreak tomorrow, about 9 or 10 o'clock, that's when this activity is going to leave. Now, there could be a brief shower right around noontime, but then eventually it just goes away. You guys, by the way, can comment if you want to. Live chat's open. All right, Julie, watching from Louisville. Oh, my gosh. I saw you earlier, too. Yeah. I'm not saying I'm the next Ryan Hall, but I will tell you that this WeatherWise app is actually pretty cool. So you guys can see right there. But the line right there about 3 a.m. So again, what I'm going to say is right now, I'm saying that I don't see us getting, not like what we're seeing right now in Missouri, Central Illinois. I don't see us getting that. What I do see is the possibility of an isolated, strong, or severe storm, but I expect the threat to be low. So I'm going to do something here. Let me quit being Picasso for a moment here and clear away all these markings and get everything back up to snuff here with it. Now, another thing, too, is Salem, Marion counties underneath a severe thunderstorm watch. If I click on this, it also gives you insight. It's actually tornado watch, I should say, tornado watch. And this was issued earlier, about 3:30 to 11 o'clock. The one thing about this is we could also look at the probabilities of it. So you're looking at wind 80% for wind, hail about 40, tornadoes probably of 2 or more, low percentage of 1 or more strong, EF2 to EF5. And you look at the impacts of this tornado watch: Chicago, Aurora, Joliet, Naperville, Springfield, Elgin. 4.4 homes affected, 10.6 million. Expires in a couple of hours. It was just updated a few minutes ago. Another thing we could do with this is we could also look at the mesoscale discussion. It gives you updates about maybe like a watch, like for example, areas to our north. The tornado watch that's up there in effect. So squall line, higher severe wind, QLCS tornado potential is evident. So it's actually pretty cool. I want to show you guys something here. And how have you guys heard about this or not? This is the latest update I heard about it. I'm going to talk about Lena, Illinois for a moment. How have you guys heard about this? Now, if you follow Lena in football playoffs like I have, so there's Lena right here. The town of Lena got hit by a tornado a few hours ago. Latest I heard, 4 people have lost their lives. That was the latest number I heard. And so Lena, Illinois, which again is a football power. You may have heard of Lena Winslow, if you're familiar with that. They are a power. Winslow is up here, by the way. So let me show you guys this. So circle here, and it's kind of hard to see a little bit. So here's Lena right here. There's Winslow right there. And so tornado came right through Lena earlier, and a few people lost their lives. Been confirmed because of that tornado in Lena a few hours ago. Now, in terms of a watch for us, for the Fairfield area, at this point in time, I don't see a weather watch being issued. However, it would depend on the strength of this line to the west of St. Louis. Now, again, Salem is underneath the tornado watch right here. And again, we're going to play little hypotheticals for a moment. I would not be surprised, and I know there's no discussion on this yet, not that we have seen so far, depending on the strength and integrity of this line, there is a chance, I feel like, we could be placed underneath a weather watch of some sort. So far, there's been no discussion of that yet. But I will say is that we just cannot rule that out. However, though, I don't expect the line to be as strong for us when it gets here overnight as it is right now. Now, obviously, the line is strong and there's parts of it that are severe. But I do not see this line being as strong as it is once it gets to us here in the Wayne County area. But again, would not be surprised if a weather watch was issued, but we'll see. Again, it just depends on the strength of the line coming in from the west. But it's getting closer to St. Louis, though. It is. It's getting closer to St. Louis. Now, this part right here, again, this is the mesoscale discussion. Even though you have the yellow right here, but this is the red you see right there. That's just the area where the mesoscale discussion is. The yellow is the tornado watch. And you can also see what people have updated as well here, so it's actually pretty neat. People posting updates. So. But anyway, guys, like I said, this is just want to give you guys a heads up about this. That's the purpose of this live stream. There's nothing threatening us right now. But at some point in the middle of the night, we are going to get this line. I don't think it's going to be as strong as it was, a couple of hours ago and right now. But it is something that you'll have to keep an eye on here. But again, we'll see. We shall see. But if Fairfield were to get, and I'm just going to use Fairfield as an example here, measure the distance here. So we're talking about 150 miles away, 157. Didn't mean to do that. No, it goes out that far. So Nashville about Pinckneyville, 1.8 hours. So there's Pinckneyville right there. Nashville, yeah. Leroy, Illinois, getting hit by a storm up there. And there's been a plethora of warnings today, guys. There's been a plethora of warnings. But anyway, guys, as I mentioned, it's really where so far the activity's been to our north. But again, just something to keep in mind about as we go through the night. So, want to show you guys this, give you guys a heads up. Let me pop this up one more time just to show you what the model is saying here. For a future track. Take a look back. We zoom back a little bit. So Fairfield about 3 a.m. But again, this line is projected to weaken. And by the time tomorrow morning arrives, it's supposed to be out about 9, 10 o'clock, depending on how fast it goes. You have a leftover shower or two, but it's a good indicator of what's to come now. So, all right, guys. Thanks for hanging around with me a little bit. As always, be weather aware. I hope this information helps you in determining, when the storm is going to get here, when's it going to hit at some point during the night. Again, it's just it's about really like future tracking here a little bit. But it's a good, I use it like an indicator, like a little like insight into, like time frame wise, when we're expecting showers and storms. I don't expect it again to be as strong as it is right now over in Missouri and what's happening right now in central and northern Illinois. But I would not be surprised again if we were to be given a weather watch of some sort. If the line is still strong, if it's below severe limits, I do not see a weather watch for us at all. But again, usually I do expect though the energy level, the instability to go down as the nighttime hours continue. Yes, there are some tornado warnings out there as we kind of looked at Lincoln, for example, Monticello area. But for now, anyway, that activity is dying down as well. Now, earlier it was pretty crazy a few hours ago, but we're starting to see the activity die down just a little bit. All right, guys, thanks for watching.